Let us welcome the third speaker. The third speaker is Miss Erika Yamamoto.
Her speech title is The Danger of Inspiration. The Danger of Inspiration. So, Miss Yamamoto, please come up to the stage.
Thank you, the Master of Ceremonies, distinguished judges and questioner, all the organizers, and audience. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you. Please imagine, there is a woman with a disability. She is standing on this stage. Compared to a person without a disability, what kind of story is expected to hear from her? About her disability, the stories of overcoming handicaps? As a matter of fact, most of you think you can get some inspiration from her. Inspiration is the emotion that we all have, and it refers to being moved or motivated by something. However, your inspiration can easily hurt the target behind the scenes. Actually, the target is me. It was 7 months before when I became a college student. I got hearing loss in my right ear and lost half of the word of sound. Once the hearing has fallen, it'll never hear again. I was forced to live the rest of my life as a disabled person. Today, I'm not here to impress you about my disability, nor am I telling you my stories of overcoming my handicaps. I'm standing on this stage to let you know the danger of inspiration, the inspiration that leads to exclusion. I hope my voice will be a trigger for a changing society where people with disabilities are respected, just like non-disabled people. In the first place, what are you impressed by, and what do you praise? To give an example, you often see charity TV shows or documentaries about disabled characters making the effort. Many of you who saw it say, I was impressed. It's amazing, even though you have a disability. However, NHK survey shows that 90% of disabled people feel a sense of pain at the symbol of inspiration. So your emotions have excluded the feelings of people with disability without knowing it. Then, why are they excluded and ignored by the majority? No one wants to kick them out on purpose, right? Actually, your inspiration makes you do that. Stella Young, an Australian activist, named it inspiration porn, kando porno in Japanese. It's about objectifying and consuming disabled people to impress non-disabled people. Inspiration porn provides a kind of superficial pleasure and satisfaction for the viewer, like actual pornography, but it often harms the target behind the scenes. In fact, when I told my friend about my hearing impairment, she said, "You can write a good speech with it." As soon as I heard that, I was forced to play the role of a disabled person. With just a single word from her, I was excluded from a society composed of the majority. We love heart-warming stories of people who live through difficulties, and we are moved from there. Of course, I love both the emotions of being moved and moving someone. I couldn't be happier if someone is moved by my words as one speaker today. However, as soon as that emotion is only directed toward being a person with a disability, it becomes a knife and it's dangerous. So we should face the danger of inspiration, the inspiration that leads to exclusion. Now, I want you to keep one concept in your heart. It is inclusion, which is the opposite of exclusion. Inclusion means every single person can participate in society without any narrow view. In order for everyone to be respected in our society, I'd like to offer 2 suggestions. In the first place, please stop expecting them to impress you before you know their valuable lives. These days, you have some opportunities to see them in the media or on the stage, don't you? When you see them, look at their way of life, way of thinking, or their values. Needless to say, there's nothing wrong with being moved from that. We all live with some kind of minority part. It'll never change just because it is a disability. Following that, please ask people with disabilities what you can do to help them. The danger of inspiration is that people only see them as object of inspiration and don't try to know how they ask for help. Everyone has a different kind of disability, even if they look the same. For example, when you hear the word hearing impairment, you probably think sign language. But is that true? According to the survey by the Cabinet Office, only 14% of hearing impaired use sign language. Some people use hearing aids or cochlear implants, and people who speak in writing or by watching mouth movement. Only that person knows how they want to be involved. So instead of objectifying disabled people to impress non-disabled people, please include them in our society by knowing the hidden voice. 2 years ago, I started helping the Disability Support Office at my university. One day, I met a man. He was in the same department as me, but there was one thing that was obviously different from mine. He was blind. At first, I was very nervous because it was the first time I talked to a blind person. However, I asked him what kind of help he needed. He told me, I'm all about auditory information. I listen to every document, everything, by ear. Then I realized I couldn't be his ears because I'm not good at hearing, but I could be his eyes. I've been supporting the visually impaired, including him, by turning sentences into auditory information. I was very happy that I felt we'd be able to hold hands and get close to an inclusive society. Please imagine again. There is a person with a disability. The person is standing on the stage. What kinds of stories do you expect to hear? No matter what that person talks about, you will be inspired not by the figure with the disability, but by his or her valuable life story. As you already know, we are all included in the same circle of society. Why don't we create such a society with our own hands? So, everyone, now is a time to face the danger of inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yamamoto. Now we have a question and answer session. Mr. Kubota, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Erika-san.
Thank you.
So my first question is 24 hours TV
Yes.
is often criticized as an inspiration porn. But this program could have a merit because it gives the spotlight to the disease or disabilities which are unknown in society. So what do you think about this merits and demerits?
I think it's a 24 hours TV shows is a good opportunity to know the hidden disability in this modern society, and this is the merit to show, to mention about the disability. But in contrast, there is some disadvantage of this problem because the aim of the 24 hours TV shows is that get inspired by the disabled people, and most people only focus on their disabilities. So that is I think it is the dangerous for in this modern society.
Okay. Well, in this Todai High, a few years ago, I saw a speaker who's vision impaired, totally vision impaired. He can't see nothing. He can't see anything, okay? And I think it requires more effort to stand on the stage and learn English and memorize speech and coming up to the stage. Okay. I think I'd like to know more about the process of how he worked, and his efforts must be praised. Is this a wrong attitude, wrong behavior towards disability?
Well, and I think it is. It depends on the person, but I think disability is a kind of the part of their bodies, and it is not wrong to ask how they live a life, or making a speech or delivering a speech, because and I think the most dangerous thing is that lack of knowledge of how they live life. So I think it is a good, in my opinion, it is not wrong.
Okay. So today you talked about inspiration porn. Today you talked about disabilities being subject of the inspiration porn. Is there any other things which could be the subject of inspiration porn, like race or gender or something else, other than disabilities?
Could you say that again?
Okay. So in your speech, you said that disabilities are becoming the subject of inspiration porn.
Yes.
Many people see the disabled people and take it as the kind of object of inspiration or something, right? Is there anything else which could be the subject of the inspiration porn? For example, like race, for example, like gender, anything else? Do you have any other idea?
Well, mainly inspiration porn only focus on the physical disability. So, but there are a lot of porn in this subject in this modern society, and well, for example, the gender is kind of the main problems in this modern society. So, well, that is one of the subjects that I mentioned.
Okay, so there would be some kind of other things which could be a subject of the inspiration porn, you say.
Yeah.
Okay, but you just focus on disabilities.
Yeah.
Because it is about you.
Yeah.
Okay. So time is up. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kubota and Ms. Yamamoto. Please go back to your seat.